Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. So we're gonna have fun today. Fun Friday. Painting some fun bokeh backgrounds. Super simple. I'll go over this step by step. It's so easy. A limited color palette. You create such an elegant design. This is perfect for a New Year's Eve card, or it could even be like, I don't know, a birthday card or something. Really simple, using like grays, a little blues, a little browns, gold, and a little bit of white gouache. If you have any questions, leave in the comment section. Super easy, super fun. I have a little bonus, extra kind of crazy fun background also for Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, you can check that out. You can click the link in my description box to join Patreon, and you can join and cancel anytime. There's all kinds of extras on there and weekly exclusive tutorials. So, it's just a place people go and support my channel, and I appreciate it so much. But on this channel, we're going to have fun just painting some backgrounds and neutral colors, wet on wet, and you see how fast this goes if you're a beginner to doing some kind of technique like this, how it goes. And try playing with metallic paint with this. Metallics are really kind of fun. I mean, you can do bokeh backgrounds without metallics, but I love using metallics. It's so much fun. So let's get started. All right, let me go over a few supplies that I'm using. I'm using Arch 100% cotton cold pressed paper. It's like a 6x6 square. You make it any size you want for a card or just kind of like a beautiful piece of decor, whatever size you want. And the same tutorial will go for any size. I'll be using my Princeton 12 Neptune series and number 8 long round Velvet Touch series brush. It would help if you had some gold paint. I have actually Holbein gold. I don't know where my actual tube is right at this moment, but it's there. It's on the palette. And if you have some white gouache, that'd be great also to use. And you would need also a little stiff brush. I have an old Princeton that I use. So I use this kind of like, like a Princeton Select number 8, whatever. It's just like a stiff, really stiff brush. That's not going to be more of a, this is more like a mixed media kind of brush. Even stiffer than the Velvet Touch series. So wet on wet with this scenario, wet on wet techniques and removing paint and playing. So there's no drawing with this. It's just playing with the color. And I'm using mostly gray tones with some blue and a little brown. So ultramarine blue over here. I'll add a burnt sienna, makes a nice gray. I'll actually use Paynes gray here, water this down, some burnt umber. So I'll picture maybe like the tree line kind of curving here a little bit. And I'm just going to take it wet on dry and start to play with putting some lines down like this. This is maybe go back in with some more Paynes gray. I can add a little burnt umber, make it a little duller gray. Water it down, just kind of making these little lines here, kind of going up and down here. Leaving a little white. Mine's maybe a little darker, maybe a little more brown gray. I'm gonna play in here, add some of that. I'll lift some of this color up. My initial one was like a lot lighter. And I used some Paynes gray. But no fret, they'll all be different and they'll be great. So grays and some blues, a little bit of brown. You can make them all completely different. I'm going to grab some of the blue color here, kind of go across, like I said, like the snow would be here. Go back over here, zigzag. Now I'm going to grab my Princeton 8 long round at this point, right? See, just going up and down here. You can make it darker or lighter. I'm going to add some burnt sienna in here. Just playing around with the colors a little bit. And I'm going to grab my 8 long round. We're going to start to play with making some fun fuzzy trees. So the ultramarine blue and the burnt sienna make a nice gray, bluish gray. We can just take a line down and kind of wiggle back and forth where the trees would go. All right, and kind of here. I'm leaving some white still in here, you see. There's a reasoning behind that. I'm actually grab some Paynes gray. Going here, going down. It's a line down and you're just kind of wiggling back and forth. Leaving a little space in between. See? And then kind of going down and obviously going down to a triangle shape, right? Here's the Paynes gray itself. Gonna go down here. This one's going to be a little bit darker, almost like a blackish kind of color tree. This one's a little bluer. Maybe I'll do Paynes gray in here. Another a little skinny. Maybe I make it a bit wider. Thicker paint. Minimal water. It won't move as much. Look at that. Same thing over here. Go over here a few times. Nice dark color for the trees. I'm wiggling back and forth. Now, you've seen me do this 1,000 times, but see how the color tones are all in these blues and grays and browns? That's what we want. We want these bluish gray brown tones. And now I'm going to just start to like add some gold. I'm going to remove, I'm clean up my brush and kind of mush. See, I'm pushing down, getting that white area. Not white anymore. Kind of filling this in. I'm going to grab some of my gold paint. This is pretty thick, so it's like, it's not really trying to activate it. It's a little loose now. Okay. And just start to paint some like little gold circles. You can take the gold paint and start to tap around some of the tree. See, just tippy tap, tippy. Add some gold circles up here. This just goes really fast. Gold up in here. My gold paint is kind of giving me a hard time, but I'm trying to activate it. Can tap where the tree would be. Add some more gold paint here. It's pretty wet over in this section in here. Gold paint down here. You see, we're forming this. I'm cleaning off my brush. I'm going to grab some more of this blue color. Go in here. This design might be a little bit different than my first one. Kind of mush this color here. Going across, so it's kind of all filled in. Right? But you get that, see that whole, now, I'm going to go back in again, make it a little bit darker, thicker the paint, thick, Paynes gray, wiggle, so it's a little bit darker. It won't move as much. Maybe I'll add one in here in the front. It's going to stand out more if it's dark. Wiggle. Look at that. Really kind of cool, right? And then I'll take that gold paint again. And I can add some dots. I'm going to activate that. Basically, like, you know, it would be like ornaments, but really just dots. And I'm just tapping that. You could make it a little bit bigger than tiny little dots. Activating my gold. Tapping it. Put another gold circle up here. Because it wants to be like that bokeh, you know, the photography where they kind of, not focus, but the colors all kind of like intermingle. Like it's like squinting your eye and this glistening gold is feeding off into the camera. I'm tapping again the gold. At this point, I'm going to take my gouache. I'm going to loosen it up. This is all very damp still, by the way. This goes pretty fast, by the way. And I'll do a little splattering. And since it's damp, it should just bleed into the color. And everyone's going to be different when you do this. Every time. Now look at that. It does look like it's out of focus now, right? I'm not so sure about this little stumpy tree, but every tree is different that I paint. And it should be. I might go up here and add a little bit more of a point. It looks like just a blob, and I really don't want it to look like a blob. So I'm giving it more definition with the point there. I can make it a little bit wider. Coming down. It's kind of cool, though. You can make this one a little bit taller. I don't want it so dark on this one. The top got a little too dark. I'm going to have to just wipe some of that deep dark gray. But I like how it's kind of like... So, doesn't it look already... Look, there's a big splatter from that white just kind of screamed in here. The gouache just made it do a whole kind of little crazy spidery thing. So I'm going to go back in with some of this gray color. This is Paynes gray, by the way. Just kind of wiggle some of the color back in. It really kind of destroyed it. Yeah, that looks good. Right? And we can also splatter the gold. I'm activating my gold. Getting it really activated. Don't do it like 1,000 times. There. Now it looks kind of cool and out of focus. And so now the stiff brush. This is the one I was talking about. Removing the paint. So have a paper towel close by you. Get some water on this. And we're going to do this thing with the circular motion. And tapping back on the paper towel. Removing the paint. And I'm just going to sporadically put some of these. I don't want to use a paper towel. I want it to kind of like fold back into itself. Put one up here. Move around the paper. You can also do this when it's a little bit dry too. Gonna move over here. Put one down here. You want to move all around. See? Now it looks like it's out of focus. It's cool. Moving it, tapping it back. If you want to use the paper towel, it will get really intensely white that way. But that's how you do the bokeh. That's how you do the bokeh. It's not a dance, but wiggle. You want to move around the paper. It's out of focus. You don't want to do too much of it. It could be overkill. Subtlety is the key here. I like some that are more natural. I'm lifting the paint. You know, I don't want it everywhere. And every time I do this, it looks a little bit different. This is extremely wet in here, so let's see how this goes. Yeah. And I feel like I need one up here. So again, just like a stencil brush. You're just wiggling, moving around in a circular motion. If you want to go and use a little piece of paper towel, go ahead. It removes a lot of the paint though. This is pretty dry, so now you really have to go in with the water and in a circular motion, remove it, and then tap it. Really cool. And I need something over here. Don't press too hard so you're like lifting up the paper and it's pilling kind of situation. You want to be a little gentle to it. Yeah, I really like that. And of course, look, like I said, look around your paper, see what holes, like stand back, look through your phone, your camera, and see where it needs to be lifted. The color. Removed. So it has that look of that really cool atmospheric kind of look. I can use this brush actually. Go in and use the gold. Make some really bold, intense gold circles. Put another one down here. Yes. You can go back over your little trees. Get a little more intense with the gold. I like the gold with the white. They can overlap a little bit. In some of the bokeh, you would see them overlap. They wouldn't just be all separated like that. And even the gold upon gold can overlap. Put one here. Translucent, it would overlap. So I'm squinting my eyes. I feel like I could use a little more white kind of splatter. It's up to you. Okay. Yes. Up over in here. Okay, now I'm going to let this dry and I'm going to come back. So now that it's dry, you can still use your brush to remove some paint. Again, be a little gentle. Here I'm going back here and getting this nice little circle. Can tap the paper towel. See that? And over here I think I'm going to grab another one. You need a stiff brush for this though. That looks great. And maybe I'll do like a little removing of the circle here next to the gold. Let's see how that comes out. Yeah. I love it. And you can write words here like Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Kind of looks like a Happy New Year kind of situation. This would make a great New Year's card. I know, right? I'm going to remove a little more paint over here. I like it for New Year's because you get the gold and the gray. It's kind of a New Year's kind of card. And see how simple and quick that was? Play around with it. And I just use simple colors. You got grays, a little bit of blue, some browns, some gold and white. And remove the lovely tape. You know, you can use a gold pen to write Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Look how pretty that is. Simple backgrounds. Try not to make things super complicated. You want to make it easy. Look how pretty that's going to look. Yes, that looks so pretty. All right. See, and it didn't take, how long did that take us? No, not long at all. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Like I said, you could write some words like Happy New Year here, whatever you want. If you have a computer and scan it in, you can do a whole kind of tape in here. But I think that's really pretty, cool background, kind of like mystical, magical bokeh trees. Just a little different than the green, you know, like the grays with the gold and the white. Just, these are different color tones. It's a different color palette. It's very more sophisticated colors. So thank you guys for watching my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like a Patreon, like I said, stick around for an additional one. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. And if you want to join Patreon, remember to click the link in my description box. You can join and cancel anytime and get that bonus extra extended, you know, tutorials and weekly exclusive tutorials and all that good stuff. And we even have, actually now Patreon has a whole chat feature. So, all right, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.